How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Craic podcast. We're in a different space and we've got a different guest.
Yeah.
Ben, how's it going?
Not so bad. No, thank you very much for having me on, and thank you for making the distance too. It's
Absolutely no
change of
trouble at
scenery,
all. It is really nice to have a change of scenery, and there's a nice essence to the place. We're in an ice cream factory. So we're probably all going to come out 2 stone heavier. He's already put buns in front of us for those watching. So
he's trying to fill us up on buns before we get near the ice cream.
He's trying to sweeten us up. But Ben, you are the owner of Ben's Ice Cream.
I am indeed.
And for those obviously who aren't aware, do you want to just give a bit of an insight as to what your brand is, what you do?
Yeah. So I own a business called Ben's Ice Cream Studio. Started it there back in 2017. I was 19 years of age at the time, and I was a uni dropout, so I was, and I lived in a place called Moneyglass there, which is just the other side of Toom, and whenever I dropped out of uni, it was a kind of a long time of not knowing what to do with myself, and I knew the idea of taking on a business was always something I would like to have done. If you had asked me, was it always ice cream? Definitely not.
Yeah.
But that place where we have our Toom shop there, before I overtook it, it used to be a wee ice cream sweet shop, and whenever I took it on, I just thought it'd be something I could try out myself and see if I can do it any better. And I opened the store in 2017. It wasn't my own ice cream at the time. It was bought-in ice cream and just your basic sweets. And yeah, whenever we started it there in 2017, that is when I kind of fell in love with the industry of it. Ice cream, obviously, that's why a lot of people love ice cream, but to me, what I loved about it is how it made people feel. It's the kind of thing that if you're sad, you get a tub of ice cream. If you're happy, you celebrate with ice cream. It's kind of hard to go wrong. And that's kind of how it came about, that it's something I definitely want to go into. The idea was to maybe open up more shops, but the ice cream that I was selling at the time, those people were very strict on where I could take the business, specifically at which town I can go to. If they already stock a shop in that town, I can't go near it. And that's when I thought about making it myself, and that's the idea of it was good, and then when you kind of look into how to go about making ice cream, there's a lot more to it. And I was about 2018 when I wanted to start learning to make it, and then there was a further two years of learning how to make it. I went to go visit all the gelato places. I went to Bologna in Italy. I went to a place called Caprigiani University. University dedicated to ice cream making. It was a dream, but as I say, the chefs in there, they were really, attention to detail was great, and I've never had gelato like it. And when I was there, what I loved about it was just how creative you can be with it, all the different ingredients, and I knew that if I could bring those teachings back and introduce it with more of local ingredients. We got our milk and cream there from a group there in Belfast, and all locally made ingredients as well, even the likes of our honeycomb and all get made from scratch. And that's kind of how it came about. There was 2 years there of learning how to make ice cream, and then along with that we refreshed the brand, and we reopened the doors on the start of March 2020. And I'm sure we all know what happens at the end of March 2020. We were told everyone went into lockdown and had to close the store, and that was about 2 weeks of homemade ice cream and everyone buzzing about it, and then having to lock the doors straight after.
I suppose that was hard, putting in all that work and finally getting to the stage that you're happy. You've went and learned how to make it and all.
And it's a big investment too. Our machinery down there all came straight from Italy. The place that I studied ice cream is the same place that they make the machines that I have down there, and to get them shipped over and whatnot and finally fitted in I was working off my parents' garage.
Yeah.
I renovated it into a wee small ice cream factory, and that's how we started. So whenever we were asked to go into lockdown, that obviously was a big hit.
Yeah.
There was about 2 or 3 months there of not knowing what was going to happen. We decided to introduce deliveries. But at the time I didn't have a freezer van or anything like that there. So my mum, she used to be a dinner lady in a primary school, so we took a couple of insulated boxes and borrowed them for a wee while.
You just had to make do with what you had, like.
What way were you delivering? Like, it wasn't house to house, was it? Or
So every delivery day, say it was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
It started at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would make the ice cream. Thursday and Friday, I would take the phone calls, and then Saturday we would deliver it all.
So how many sort of units wise at the start would you been delivering in a day?
It was like us doing deliveries around that time. It was everyone around the community. That's the kind of, that was the height of the week, was Ben's doing deliveries on a Saturday. And
I suppose there was quite literally nothing else to be had. You come to the door, people were crying and all. Like,
there's a big
here he comes.
Wait all day for me to show.
I suppose that was a good thing though as well. Like, you know, people getting to know you, getting to know the brand. Like, it's sort of building that relationship there.
Yeah, it definitely brought us a lot closer to the community there. Like, and that Tomb shop, that we obviously only had Tomb at the time, and till this day we still have very good loyal customers around the town, like. And I remember when receiving the phone calls there, like, we only had one phone in the shop, and like friends of mine would send me screenshots. One boy, he tried 120 times to phone the shop, and it was just once I put the phone down, straight on to the next call.
My days.
But it was a very crazy time. Like, the rules then changed come May. I think it was, we were able to open for takeaway only, and that's kind of, I would say, probably the biggest shift that we had, because a lot of places that were able to open takeaway, they were kind of all the same. That because nobody had anywhere else to go, that was the height of their time, was to go to the shop and to get something. Like, I have pictures there of like a line down the street and everything, like, and we even had, to this day I don't even know who it was, but someone reported me to the police about it as well.
Right.
Apparently breaking COVID rules, but we weren't aware.
Yeah, it's mad looking back now. This guy's selling ice cream illegally. Reporting it.
No, it was very, like, again, it obviously comes with a lot of challenges, like, but it's that whole experience was great. And then kind of just skyrocketed after that. We opened our second store there in Marfelt in 2021. So it was just kind of whenever COVID was still about, obviously, but we were able to open it. And we weren't able to do sit-in, but it was a big enough shop that we needed a sit-in area. But
was there no real worry whenever, like, deciding to open a store during lockdown? Was there any party that said, fuck, I don't know if this is a good idea?
The worry wasn't about opening, because obviously because of COVID, like, because of how busy the Tomb shop was, we knew it was going to do okay at the start. Yeah. But I knew that like, once COVID eventually goes away, or if it died down a bit, or would we still be able to keep the shop going, was my biggest worry. Yeah. And till this, like, today, we still have that Marfelt shop going. Yeah. We opened our third store there in Portland the following year, and it's kind of the same size as Tomb. It's mainly just takeaway. And now we have the free going in dust, which is great. Like, and I know most recently there we introduced I don't know if you've seen it, like a studio on wheels. It's kind of like a trailer.
I do like weddings and stuff.
It's sitting out there.
Actually, I clocked that on the way in.
And we launched that just a few months ago there, and I think our first event's this weekend, and it's booked now for every weekend between now and the end of summer. Like, so
that's unreal. That's unreal.
It's great now. Like, I've spoke to a few people about trying to get the name out there and stuff, and that seemed to be the biggest suggestion, was getting something that we could take ourselves and go to those bigger events. And the trailer, the branding's very heavy, like, and be able to sell our product to all sorts of people. So no, it's so far so good. Business, that's the shops would keep us busy the most. I was saying these days before that we introduced a kind of a sister brand. It's more of the luxury end of ice cream, and it's called Money Glass Ice Creams. Money Glass is my home place, so it is, and we introduced that there over the last summer, and the purpose of that there was we wanted to get out. We knew we had a good product. We just needed to get it into the nicer hotels, the restaurants, stuff like that there. And as good as the branding of Ben's is, I know that the likes of hotels and all, but kind of where does it come from? Where is it made? What kind of products is used? And that's where we introduced Money Glass Ice Creams, just to kind of just take the family orientated out of it, and it's more about the luxury. It's a different recipe. It's more heavier ingredients and stuff, and we have about 10 establishments there. So there's the likes of Lochern, there's the Hastings hotels there, such as the Culloden, Europa, and Grand Central and the likes, and then.
And you supply exclusively ice cream to them places
exclusive
as well.
to all of them, so it's
amazing how you've taken it from like one small store to now like not just 3 stores. You've now got a shop on wheels, but now essentially you're supplying to like it's cool to see how like, and you say you started it when you were 17. It's cool to sort of track that, your growth and the business growth alongside it. What did you originally study? What did you study when you dropped out?
I studied drama and film studies, which I got from there to ice cream, I don't know, but when I finished A-levels, I would be more, I used to play a lot of music. I would have done gigs a lot, and music technology was something I wanted to get into. And when I finished my A-level, I think it was like 1 mark off, so I decided to take a year out. That year out was probably the best experience because I was able to work a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of jobs there in the likes of the Odyssey and stuff like that there, setting up concerts.
So did you take on jobs that were specific to what you thought you wanted to do?
Yeah, exactly, because I had full intentions of repeating the exams and going for that course again. So I'd done a full year of just kind of working while studying in the background, and then exam came around again, results came around, and I was still 1 mark off. So
that examiner must have disliked you.
You can imagine the feelings at the time, like, but it's looking back at it now, it's one of those things that I'm a very strong believer in. That everything happens for a reason, and that's what it was, because I didn't get the exam, but I still, at that age, still wanted to party up in Belfast. So I just accepted any course that would take me on, and that drama and film studies, I still tried to kind of associate that with music in some shape or form. Like, so it's.
If you don't mind me asking, because you kind of glanced over earlier on opening up the store in Toom, what made you do that in terms of go in and go essentially what was like, I see that as like a little small like news agents type thing. What made you go, I'm going to do this?
The opportunity just kind of came. I started uni in the end of September, and I dropped out and started in November. And I came home and still had a house that I was renting away up in Belfast there, and Toom's my main town, like, and that unit became available, and it was just one of those things that you're just driving by it and just took the notion. I was like, I wonder, could I do that? And sure enough.
You were age 19 at this time?
19.
What did everyone think whenever you sort of...
Not wise. I definitely probably a bit of the weird side, like, but it's a lot of my friends, to be fair, were very supportive, but at the same time, like, oh, you're right, like. But I started at 19, and obviously when I had to think of a name for the business, you can tell I was very creative with the name.
Well, but like, just to break it down, like, what was sort of like the risk, or like, what was it like then? Just for anyone listening who's maybe thinking I'd like to get into something like that, like, was it just you started renting that out and just had to supply it, or how did that work? Like,
so like I said there about my year out, that I say that was one of the best things I done because of having all those jobs. I was able to raise the funds to start. And I started at a very, very small scale. Like, I was only maybe a couple of flavors and sweets that I was able to get in, and I didn't have to pay until the end of the following month.
Yeah.
So it was a risk, but because I'm that age, the risk didn't feel that high. And that's kind of how that came about. A lot of things obviously go through your head, especially at that age. Whenever the ones I'm friends with are still up partying up in Belfast, like it's the boys that shed their house with, they're still telling me about the nights out that they're having, coming home on the weekend and stuff. And I'm still, the shop was 7 days a week.
Yeah. Hard to put the head down when everyone else is partying around.
And
was that like a bit of a realization, like you were saying you were partying and stuff? Like, did you find it hard, like adjusting to like suppose like you took on the business and you don't know, like was your expectation that it was gonna be 7 days a week? Like, did you go into thinking that?
I laughed. Like when I went into it, I thought it was gonna be kind of like cafe opening hours, like maybe 9 to 4. But then I quickly realized that people like ice cream in the evening times. Like most of our business comes after 6 o'clock, and that hit me very quick. But I kind of felt I was too far deep into it to go anywhere. Like, but that's. It was, the realization came very quick, and it was a struggle because there's always that doubt that like, should I keep this going or should I go and do something else?
And like, what was the point where you like, you obviously you went on, you studied, like was there a point where you're like, there's something here, or was there, like you're saying there, was there stages where you're maybe like, fuck, I don't know if I've made the right decision, should I go?
It's the stories that you hear from customers about the business that kind of keeps you going. The Ben's is it's a family orientated business, and especially with the children and stuff, like it's kind of like, to them I'm like a very small celebrity in their eyes. Like it's
like Tim's Willy Wonka.
I go to I serve ice cream at the primary schools and stuff, and they're all cheering for Ben. Like, and it's
that's mad.
I drive about in that Ben's van, and I can't get anywhere if people waving and stuff. It'd be a bad job if I get pulled over, is the only thing. But no, it's like that's all those little things kind of kept me going, because I kind of knew that I was onto something as such, but I knew that that's whenever I wanted to make it myself and learn how to make my own ice cream, that's because I knew that's, if I wanted to grow the business, I need to have full control over it.
Yeah.
And while doing all that, obviously the support of the team around me.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone could ever build a business by themselves. Like I believe you have to have the right team around you. And I'm very fortunate to have my family, because the good thing about working with family is that they'll tell you straight. Like they'll decide if it's a decision they don't know if it would work, they'll let me know, and they still give me the respect to having the final say, which is good. And all my parents and all there to support me as well, and my wife, we got married there back in August, but she's been with me since day one as well.
Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you. And she has been with me throughout the whole building of Ben's, like, and it's good to have that support bubble too, like that's even in the bad days, they're there to help you.
What's your wife say about it now? Like, do you ever just sit and look back and think, fuck, it was crazy?
She admits to me, like, she didn't believe it at the start. That's fair enough. Like, and I just told her just give me a while, and hopefully it'll work. And thankfully it has. It's a roof over our heads now, and it's all because of the business. Like, and
she didn't believe it until 70 primary school kids came.
I'm just imagining you now driving around this van with like sunglasses. No pops.
But I know it's been very good. Like, and I would say a good part of our business would kind of be the social media end of things. I don't know if we would be big into videos and stuff like that. They're trying to show like
the personality.
We
definitely get a sense of that when you're on like your socials. Like it's that, and I think that's cool as well, because like to me it just seems like one kind of, I know we kind of like laugh about the whole buying the shop a bit of like it feels like a bit of on a whim, but like it seems like you've just kind of made one sort of ballsy move after another, like in terms of like you mentioned the brand that you were selling, which I don't know who it was, but we'll not name names, but like the brand that you were selling was kind of constricting you as to where you could go and what you could do. Most people would be like, fair enough, I mean, it's a crap scenario, we'll just go on and walk off, but you've just turned around and went, well, no, I'm going to make my own ice cream brand, shove up you. Like, and that's, like, that to me is pretty cool. Like,
that's such a good point, though. Like, what, I think we sort of brushed over it, but like, what was that? What was the decision there? Like, in terms of like, did you spend a lot of time researching where to go? Like, you were sort of saying about like the quality of the product that they make over there. Like, what is the main things that go into it? Like, what makes your ice cream such high quality?
Like the focus on how to make good ice cream. Like, it's, I would say, is purely, yes, there's a recipe and everyone keeps their recipe a secret. Like, but it's the
Tommy's like, that was your recipe.
But
it's my Tommy's ice cream game.
Tom's ice cream.
And but if you put the effort in, or when I say like, yes, your recipe, but as long as you have really good quality ingredients, it's very hard to go wrong after that. Like, and I would say when it comes to my business anyway, that 50% is a good product and 50% is your why, like why you're selling it. And that's what we always try to push. I was saying to you earlier, like, Ben's is kind of, it's called Ben's Ice Cream Studio because studio being the word, like, it's a place, and it's a place that I wanted to create that allows customers to kind of get away from the day-to-day stresses. Obviously, especially recently, obviously cost of living and all that kind of stuff, it's good to have just somewhere that you can go to kind of just clock out for a few minutes, like, and that's kind of what we're going for, what we try to. And that's why, in terms of our videos and our posts and stuff, try to be a wee bit more entertaining. Just kind of like, because people tend to go on their social media to be entertained, or to just kind of clock out for a wee while. And if they look at my video and even smirk a wee bit, like, that tells me I'm doing my job right, because that's the goal, is to just kind of get people to just relax a wee bit and know that everything's going to be alright. Like,
I'm sort of getting the impression from speaking to you, like, the most probably important thing for you is the people than anything.
It is.
Do you think that sort of overshadows the ice cream more than anything? Do you think maybe like you could potentially went down another route, maybe not ice cream, but the most important thing for you was the people?
To me, it was it's people. It's wanting to create that space for them, and I feel that ice cream is the best thing to do that. Allowed me to do that, and I'm sure like anything else could have worked.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of happy that it picked ice cream, and that's the best way to go about it. And the great thing about ice cream, you can do a lot of other things associated with it.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of desserts there, hot desserts, brownies, waffles, crepes and the likes, and
unreal.
All gets complemented with a scoop of ice cream, like, so it's it all plays a part. And as I said earlier about the stories of the customers, and yes, it's mainly children based, but I would even get messages of people that just how the likes of the videos or something like that there could just make their day, and that's it's hard to beat that. Like,
I think you've definitely hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of people like talk at the minute about like the importance of like building a brand, like an actual a brand with longevity that means something. Like you could be an Amazon drop shipper or whatever and have no personality to your business whatsoever, but that's what's driving people. You've built it's ice cream is the byproduct of kind of what you do. It's like Ben's Ice Cream at Studios is the brand, and people associate themselves with that, and then they go and ice cream's there. It's the reward kind of.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like you to go from like no real experience in that, I think is a class story in itself, because it just shows that you can go and study for 4 or 5 years in a degree. It's having the right mindset and the reason behind what you want to do can really help you get to your destination. It's interesting you say, like, obviously you were selling the other people's ice cream in your shop, and then obviously through them reasons you decided to go and you went to a class university or something in Italy, or a gelato university.
Cabrigiani University.
So you went to university, like you completed it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Was there many parties at that?
It
was not like those.
I wish. Bologna is like, I think it's like one of the biggest universities in the world or something like that. There, not the one I was at, but there is a university in the city, like, and but it's creating, as I say, going back to creating that place for them and for customers, and that is the main goal. And I'm very, like, especially when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, there I'd be very strong about all that. I'm doing a marathon this year, and this is a man that wouldn't be a runner, like, and I'm doing it for a mental health charity, like, and that's a lot of things I got there. Kind of, if there's a way of helping someone through what I do, I'll try my best to do it, and that's why I believe that I'm on the right direction path. And it's just kind of having to keep at it. Obviously it's not a walk in the park, that you come across a lot of problems and a lot of issues, and going back to that support bubble, just knowing that time will heal everything, and if you just keep at it, that's hopefully someday it'll be worth the while.
Besides COVID, like, obviously there'll be people listening to the podcast who maybe wants to start up their own business, and obviously at the minute I don't think, touch wood, we'll ever have to experience anything like COVID again. But, you know, for likes of yourself, you said obviously COVID was a pretty stressful time in terms of the challenges that were thrown at you, but besides COVID, what's some of the other challenges, or has there been any big sort of speed bumps along the way which, you know, we maybe could share a bit of insight on for people who are listening to maybe help in the future?
I'll say, like, to run a business is the money end of it is a big important factor, and like, I know at the very, very start there we had it was a very low, like, weren't making much business at all. I think there was actually a day that I sold one cone of ice cream, and that there can be very hard on the mental too, like trying to, like, is there a business out of this, and if so, how do we make it work and make it longevity, like, and that there, as well as just believing in the fact that the business could go somewhere, even if no one else has the same belief. That is, it's a hard thing to do, and you kind of just have to hope that someday that it will work and it'll be worth your time. The other challenges I probably have come across is that, like, it's hard to kind of keep everybody happy. Like, I tell you about all the good messages and the good stories and stuff, but that's why a lot of bad ones too. And it's
people have bad things to say about ice cream.
Not so much the product, kind of, maybe like, just if they had like a bad shop experience or something like that there, and maybe it was just something that could have been out of our control, or something that just wasn't handled at the right way, and those, you kind of just have to look at those kind of things and don't ignore them. I always try to reply to any bad reviews, reply to anything that's any feedback at all. If it helps us be better, then I see it as a good thing. Obviously you don't want to see it coming too often, you don't want to see the bad reviews too often, but as I say, there's definitely stuff that's happened that we've improved on because of a bad review or because of someone giving us constructive feedback, like, and we took that on board, and as long as you don't let it get to you too much, and then it should be hopefully smooth sailing after that, like.
You see, with like the scaling of the business, so obviously like you've opened up more stores, and like it's pretty clear from what you're saying how much like community means to you. Like, how, like, is there like certain things you look for when you're looking at a new store, like in terms of location, in terms of like the community, like what way do you go about that?
Location's very important. Because it's you were saying earlier about kind of associating the business about the people. We find that, like, more smaller community towns would benefit a lot more from one of our shops than a big city as such. And that's kind of what we try to look for. The good thing about trying to get this chiller out and about is the like getting to maybe testing the waters sometimes. If they're having like a festival or a marketplace or something, we can go see if the ice cream sells there, and it could be something that in the pipeline that we could go into more detail about. That there is obviously like the funding for it as well, just trying to, our business is mainly summer based.
Yeah.
Now it could be snowing outside, you'll still find someone eating ice cream, right? But we're kept busy all year round, but it really kicks up come the summertime.
Yeah.
And that's, we all have to just monitor the cash flow of it all and just kind of make the right decisions as well. The shops, as well as anything further down the line, this factory here is our base, and if we decide to go anything further, we have to make sure that we have enough capacity here
to supply.
And obviously if it comes to more shops and stuff, we have to monitor it as well, manage the staff.
I suppose there's an issue if you open a shop down in Cork and you're transporting ice cream from here.
Exactly.
It's going to be pretty
cost of diesel as well.
What a random place to go to.
But you know, just as an example, I know it's far away.
But is that something like maybe you're sort of at that stage where you're thinking like about scaling up even like the factory side of things, like if you wanted to expand further, what's the sort of thought process there?
This factory that we're currently in here, we've been here over a year and are coming up to a year, and we've built it in a way that is the capacity there for maybe a few more stores down the line. But I was saying there to the team there that like the homemade ice cream was 2020, another shop in 21, another shop 22, the chiller in 23. Like we're kind of going very fast.
Like,
a helicopter in 2024. Get a course quick.
As long as there's a freezer in it there. And it has moved very quickly, and we've been very fortunate to be able to keep on top of it. There has been times that like maybe we've went off track and we've had to maybe just focus on how to make a certain department better, or the ice cream, for example. We moved in here last year, but before that I was working out of a garage, and there was 4 of us in this, like a room no bigger than this room here, and the machines kind of took up most of the room, like, so it was all shoulder to shoulder on stage. Like we knew then that if we wanted to scale that we needed to get out of there, and very fortunate to find this place that was only 10 minutes away from that garage. Like, but all those kind of things you have to put into consideration, like especially if you wanted to like scale in your ice cream, but there's the branding of it too. And there's like the likes of personalized cups and graphics in the new stores and stuff like that there.
Was that something you had experience with beforehand, like something you knew a lot about, like in terms of like the logo, the branding or something? I
knew brand was very important, that you needed something strong, and like I know all the main brands out there tend to have maybe a strong colour or something that really makes them stand out. As you can tell from this room, it's very blue. That's kind of what we went for, and we're trying to introduce stuff down the line. Like there's this wee mini Ben here in the cups, and we're trying to maybe introduce him.
I like it, like the slang. This is hot. Like
going back, it goes back to that community aspect to it too. Like it's kind of how people around here talk, and that's what we're trying to kind of.
But it's so important. Like I think from working on marketing, like massive companies struggle with even like building a community. Like, you know, it's so important now, and even like obviously your business relies on repeat custom as well. Like wee touches like that just really make the difference and help it stand out.
And I do believe the whole like entertainment factor online especially helps. Like I don't know where I heard it from, but I think someone said it was the likes of Red Bull there. If you would go on their Instagram page, you never see a can of Red Bull.
It's like a guy Rory Sutherland talk about it.
And like,
that's I don't mean to like take away from it, but like basically he was like chatting about a seen a clip, and he's talking about like Red Bull took their product. They're like, there's this like specific drinks like company that like tastes drinks, and it was like one of the worst ever rated in terms of taste, like.
Yeah.
But like it's the way it's packaged and branded that it's like, it's almost like a drug. It's like to give you energy. Like the salad, the way it's sold is the branding behind it. Like they're not selling it as a nice drink, they're selling it almost as like a drug. It gives you energy. It's like, and then like you're saying there, like it's all about the lifestyle around it, like the F1, like all the skate.
You go on their page, you see guys doing backflips and everything. Like, it has nothing to do with the drink itself, but like still they sell billions of cans every year.
That's your next move.
They started off. What they were doing at the start, whenever they couldn't afford marketing campaigns, was like emptying tins of Red Bull and just like setting them on top of trash cans everywhere around like big cities and stuff. So people were like, "Oh, people drink this, so
but
do you drink that?"
Do you love that sort of side of the business as well, like the creativity, like you're saying, like you put effort into the videos, you want to entertain people, like?
Nah, that's kind of because we noticed since we started doing that how the business has shifted, and like it gets kind of people talking too. Like it's like they talk about the kids pointing out stuff, but like I've been to shops and all, and the cashiers, "Oh, I seen your video there the other day," and like that kind of stuff. Like it's, you know, that people are talking about it at least. Like, and that's, but I suppose every business is different too. Like that works for us. It might not work for another business, but in terms of getting the customer's attention, and maybe they'll look at the video and be like, "Geez, I must call on the bands." Like, and
how have you managed over the years, in terms of like your management skills and management style? Because to go from, you know, buying a shop and I would assume looking after it yourself if you're saying 7 days a week, like to then go in, right, you now have what, over 50 staff? How have you found like personal growth within that?
It's a struggle. It's whenever the team would tell you, like, I struggle a lot with delegation. Like, it's,
you just want to take it all on yourself.
It's a struggle to, like, I feel like I can only do it, but like at the same time, there's people I know, like, I go in and out of the factory there because I'm mostly in the office, but the two boys that are down there full time, like, they probably make ice cream better than me, and it took me a while to accept that. And
I suppose it's your baby, like, it's you don't want.
And like I made. Let's say the biggest blessing and the biggest curse was calling it Ben's, because then it comes really personal. Like, if someone talks about the experience they had at Ben's, it's like I feel like that's about me. Like,
reflection of you. Like,
and all those kind of things. Like, it's the managing of staff and stuff like that. There, it's a learning curve. You don't always get it right at the start, and also have to accept the fact that you can't keep everybody happy. You can try your best and do as much as you can. But if it doesn't work, it's just one of those things that you have to try and deal with. And I've just been very fortunate to have the right team that have helped me so far. But for all of us, like, none of us really have a big business background. Like, my dad, he would be a project director, and he's kind of the only one that would have a bit of experience. Like, but he's also he's in construction, so it's a totally different industry. Like, so it's all those kind of things, kind of getting teachings from him, trying maybe looking online to see what other people have done, and my own kind of research, and just learning and developing from there. Like, so. But the whole thing's a learning curve, and you just have to. I don't every day I'm making a mistake of some sort. Like, it's just
it's just part of it.
Definitely.
So what's your main role now? Like, what you say you spend a lot of time in the office. Like, how has that shifted from?
It's like every department in the shop started with me, and then it's just passing it on. I'm now in the office, kind of overseeing the cash flow of everything, the managing of the invoices coming in and stuff like that there, and then, because it's called Ben's, I'm essentially the face of the business too. And there's a young boy, the boy you met there coming in there, Kieran, he helps me with the marketing side of things. So all those videos and stuff that you see, yes, I'm in them, but it was him that pushed me to go do them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I've always been in charge of, or up to now I've been in charge of the social media, and that was my biggest, the hardest thing to let go.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like that, or any sort of online presence, is the best way to tell your brand.
Yeah.
And putting that in the hands of someone else is very difficult. Like, but
I also think it's cool though, because like, you know, you're still the face of it. It gives a bit of personality. Like even now, like Gymshark, massive. Yes. Like, but he went on and done, your guy Brian Francis that owns it. Like he went on and did a scene on LinkedIn the other day, like basically a breakdown of like they released their latest results to Company's House, and he went on and did like a full like download for like pretty much explain this to me like I'm 5 download off it. And I think like so it was responded to so well, because despite it being a massive business, that's still that personal side really like sort of shone through. And I think it's cool that you're still involved in that side of things, because
I think it helps with the selling of it too, because like we didn't want, like, as the business has grown so quick, we really tried to avoid going into like to being more corporate. Yeah. Like there was we did have a long phase there that like we were just using your standard graphics and stuff, and you never really seen me, or you never really seen anyone part of the team. It's just pictures of ice cream, and that was kind of like a creative block for us.
Yeah. And
we learned very quickly that people want to see the people behind the business. They want to see the face. They want to see like
personality.
It's going back to the why you're selling the stuff. And yes, it's good to have an important it's important to have a very good product, but it's your why that's kind of important to your customers, and why they like. There's a lot of ice cream places. Like, why would they go to us first, like anyone else?
Yeah.
And that's hopefully by showing our customers the why we're selling it, that would hopefully encourage them to come visit. Like, so.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself up here, obviously big massive windows here looking down on the production area, but do you find yourself wanting to get down there and get stuck in that sort of thing?
I was going to ask.
It's a struggle. Like I still go down time to time, and like I do those hotels and stuff like that there. They always like to try really new flavors, and like I think Lockern there, they had us making a lime, ginger and chili.
Ooh.
A what?
A lime, ginger and chili.
I've heard chili's supposed to be a really nice flavour.
It's like
the contrast.
Wouldn't be my cup of tea, like, but it was very interesting, like using chili flakes and something that's meant to make your mouth cold, and it just goes the other direction. That's that.
I can imagine eating a brownie and then like, you want me to scoop ice cream? Like, you know what? Shovel it in my mouth and I'm suddenly burning. I'm like, this.
I know. So that's like going down there, being able to do that with them, try and find new flavors, and then essentially leave them to it is good. Like, because it's good to have that trust in them as well. And even in the shops as well, I miss, like, it was 2 to 3 years in Tom's shop there, just me behind the counter for every day, and being able to like step away from that. And then I do enjoy the times I would have to go back and maybe cover someone that's took sick or something like that. There just kind of brings that all back, and kind of reminds me of why I'm doing it as well. Because whenever you go up here every day, you forget why you're doing it sometimes.
You're kind of like disassociated from it all, even though here's the hub that makes the ice cream.
Exactly.
Like, to you, it definitely seems from chatting to you over the past while, you're big into the people. Like the community, the interaction. You're not getting that. You probably are getting a bit of crack here with staff, but you're not getting the.
It's not that. That's a struggle for me that way. Like, but we do need someone that here to cover the background of the business. Like, and I noticed that, like, we do a lot of events there. We've introduced that trailer, but we also have a wee portable set up there, and I done like about, I think it was like 100 weddings and parties for it last year there, and I went to all of them because I just loved being out and about, talking to people and getting them to try out the product as well. Like,
do you ever get like burnt out?
Doing
too much?
But again, going back to having a good team, it's that you're able to have your brick and trust that they can continue the business when you're not there. Like, as I say, I got married there back in August. That was a good month or so of like just having to be in and out, not having to focus too much on what's going on. And if there was anything I needed to know, my family would let me know, and but they would mostly cover it. Like,
was that tough though? Like, did you still find yourself like checking your phone?
Every day.
Of ice cream.
I say the morning of the wedding, I'm still looking at the cameras. Like, but that's like, I suppose if you ask any business,
What's he doing? Putting chili flakes in there.
I say if you ask anyone that has their own business, they're probably all like that. Like, it's you have your days off, but are they really days off? Like, you're still
you're still thinking, like, you're still
turn off.
Yeah,
and I'm happy of being like that. Like, I kind of just shows that I'm still caring about the business.
Yeah,
like, so it's,
you sort of talked a wee bit, but like, tell us a bit more about like the sister brand and like getting into them hotels. Like how did that really start out?
Yeah, that was. It's again another whole separate challenge, but I was very fortunate there that as a chef there, he used to be the head chef in Lochern, but he's now gone on his own there. It's Noel McMeal.
Right.
Noel McMeal is originally from Moneyglass there.
McMeal?
Aye, McMeal.
He's a chef.
And I spoke to him because I knew that if I wanted to get into like so hotels and restaurants, that was the best. He was the man to talk to start me off, and he straight away told me that Ben, the brand of Ben's is great, but if you want to get into like the hotels and stuff, you might have to just change it to something more about where it comes from and more about that. It's the same story of me and it's how I learned to make ice cream and stuff, but it's just that bit of a change in branding just helped us big time. And because he was the head chef in Lochern at the time, Lochern was our first customer. And in terms of having a cut, like, that's probably a good start is the Lochern, because they have that their 5-star resort, and that kind of started us off. And being in there opened a lot of other doors. Being in there opened the door to Hastings. And Hastings met up with me, and there was great chat about how we can introduce the ice cream to all their places as well. And it's been great working with them also, because they have their own distributor there that we just have to deliver to the distributor, and then he dishes out to the hotels. Like, so it's handy on our side. Like. And because of them, as well as Lochern, a lot of chefs that care about their product, and from starters to mains, desserts, they want to get a bit of it too. So they've reached out, and that's why we're kind of in the more the luxury end of it, because it's why I like being part of it, because it means that I know that the chef's looking after the product too. There could be a lot of people, like, we've tried to avoid putting even the Ben's brand, like, you would go into a local shop and maybe there's again, avoiding naming brands here, but like a different brand of ice cream on the counter just being served by people behind the tills. And that's not the direction that we wanted to go, because you don't know how the product's going to be handled, and how it's like wouldn't maybe not go out the door as quickly. And ice cream after a while tends to go to a different kind of consistency too. Like, so that's why we kind of avoided that and went towards the restaurants and hotels, because you know that chefs who care about their food are going to look after the product.
In terms of like the development of the product, like you were mentioning about like the flavors, but like when you go to like those luxury hotels, like how much of a say do the chefs have? Like, how much is it like back and forth working with like them on flavors, or is it very much like this is what we're doing?
The big benefit, or what I feel, or what the chefs like about us, is that we have the kind of machinery there that we can do bulk delivery or bulk orders, but we can also do very small orders too. And that also allows the opportunity there to try out flavors, try out different desserts, and that's kind of, we have this rule that if a chef wanted me to try the flavor and the flavor works, I don't sell that flavor to anyone else. It was his idea, so that sticks with him. And that's a good selling point too, because it means that we care about them, and we're not going to take their idea and sell it to other people. Like,
so can we make our own flavour, but you're not?
You could try. like another flavour there.
You've agreed to this now. It's recorded, so we have to follow her. Here's the Craic ice cream.
Crack flavour.
Yes. Here's the cream. No.
But I know, like, we have a flavour down there, dulse and yellow man, and dulse isn't like dulse seaweed,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yellow
yellow,
man, like the
man is like a nice, like the kind of
honeycomb stuff.
texture,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was something that we weren't too sure about, like the thought of seaweed in an ice cream. But
niche.
again, it worked, and we made that for Locker back in September, and they're still selling away at it. Like, so it's one of those things too. Like, they have the kind of customers that would like to try out new flavors and stuff.
I
Yeah.
suppose it's good to give you ideas, like even like hearing from the chefs, maybe stuff you wouldn't, like you're saying, you wouldn't have thought worked, and you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, but we find that the shops there, it's a totally different clientele. It's people just don't like change. Like, we came out with 4 flavors there in Christmas, and they sold relatively well. Like, but it's very hard to beat the likes of the honeycombs and the Kinder and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
Like,
What's your best seller?
we have a Kinder there on there. It's called Be a Bit More Kinder, but it's Be a Bit
That's
More
cool.
Kinder. It's it's a Kinder, a white Kinder base, and Ferrero Rocher Ripple.
I'm sold.
Yeah. Probably try a bit of it here after.
There we go. It's also on recording as well.
But it'll be our most popular there, and the honeycombs, and we have a plain honeycomb, and then we have a chocolate honey, which would be honeycomb and chocolate chip. That will sell very well. Is cookies and cream, and our vanilla is actually Great Taste Award there last year for our vanilla there, and
Yeah.
after all the hotels and stuff in the Hastings and all, the biggest seller is vanilla.
Yeah.
And it's one of those flavors that you wouldn't think would be a big seller, but it's going very well, like, so.
Yeah.
But like with the sourcing, like you've talked, like how important it is, the quality of it. Like, how did you find that hard, like sourcing product locally, like in terms of like making sure everything was the right quality? Like, how did you manage that?
When I started, obviously when I went to Italy, I came back, and then I worked along with Caffrey College there, Lockery College in Cookstown, and they because I didn't have a factory at the time, and they did, and it allowed me to kind of test flavors. And whenever, especially at the very start, when you don't have a starting flavor, like at the very start I was eating 20 different vanillas and 20 different strawberries, and like, so I was rolling out the door or something. And that's all that there kind of, it's a lot of trial and error, and some recipes just didn't work and some did, like, and
What's been the biggest flop in terms of the recipe wise?
flop. I know a lot of mistakes have happened in the factory. Like, we even make, like, we have tanks there, about 300 litre tanks, and say we're filling a bucket and just maybe forget about the bucket. We have drains there, and just 300 litres of mix going down the drains. Like,
Oh my word.
it's a lot of gas. Like, 300 litres would get you about 400 to 500 gallons of ice cream, like, which is a lot of ice cream.
Yeah.
But again, you learn from those things, and that's kind of how.
So what did one of the machines just empty ice cream on?
Aye. There's like just a wee handle, and I'll not say who it was, but someone just got to put it back in, and
that person is not working.
And I've told everyone, like, any mistake that's happened else in the shops or the factory, you can guarantee I've already done it. And that's the best way to kind of learn.
Yeah.
But I know, as I say, there's them there. Like, our Portland own shop there would be it would be more of a seasonal shop.
Yeah.
And there was days there we didn't sell any ice cream in that shop. Like, it's all those kind of things you learn from it, and you just see what works and what doesn't. And all 3 shops are only maybe 20 to 30 minutes apart, and yet each town's so different. And we just see what works in what town and go from there. Like,
So strange. Like, is there like, what's been like the most surprising thing in terms of like differences? Like,
Tim, going back to loyal customers and stuff, there we have the big family size tubs, and that's probably one of the biggest sellers in that shop. Whereas Marfelt, we don't sell any, and they're only, maybe the town's only 10-15 minutes apart. Like, it's purely on location too.
Yeah.
When you go to Marfelt, which is a bigger town, it's more about getting out and about and meeting with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
going over milkshakes and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
Whereas Tomb's more surrounded by houses. Get your family tubs and bring it home with you.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's again just learning from all those little things. I can see what works and what doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's class how you've kind of like just grew it,
aye.
like in terms of, but like not through no like. You know, a lot of people come on podcasts and they kind of like, oh, look at me, I'm such a genius and I've done X, Y, and Z. But like you've just like it seems to come from just a really good place, like in terms of, you know, building the brand. Even when you've come to like talking about like the trade side of things, like the money glass stuff, like even from there, like the whole like going to a hotel and basically saying, you know, if we make an ice cream that'll be exclusive to you guys, that's so like a lot of thought behind that. And even like, you know, if you were, it just sets you apart from pretty much.
It's just figuring out ways of that can just make it a wee bit different than the rest. Like that's kind of what we try to aim for. Like, and again, just kind of staying positive throughout all of it. Like even like there's been many times I've approached people and they've maybe not given the impression that they want to go ahead with us, or maybe not, and all those kind of things. It's knowing that if you get kicked down, just kind of getting back up and going at it again. Like so, it's just all going back to trial and error. Like it's just so I have to keep at it.
Yeah. What next?
Next, that's a good question.
Chocolate.
I don't know. No, as I say, we have that trailer there, and we're fully booked there between now and the end of summer, and that between the free shops, and trying to go on that charity partner of ours, the mental health thing. We introduced them there a few months back, and then we'd like to kind of push them a bit more too. Me doing the marathons, helping that as well, and all those kind of going back to the people thing. It's just how can we help a bit more? And obviously we're not like no mental health experts or anything like that there, but like whatever we can do to help just make someone's day a little bit better, we'll try it. Like so.
Yeah.
And have you like, is there any plans to sell like tubs of that, like in retailers?
Maybe further down the line. It was a stage there that was the direction we were going. We didn't.
Yeah.
We thought maybe more shops wasn't the way, because with more shops there's more management, more responsibility there, and retail tubs is kind of the easy way of boosting sales, I suppose. You just have to stock the shelves and that's it. But I stopped kind of going that direction because it was kind of going away from why I started Ben's in the first place, and I was going back to the people and creating that place for them to get away, and that's what we're trying to aim for. And if we can keep that going, then happy days. And so just keeping that going. Retail tubs maybe down the line.
Is there any like people like other companies in the industry, or any companies just in general that you look at and you sort of like, I would like to be like that someday, or in any industry, just in
like probably a good example there, not ice cream related, like the likes of Bob and Birds there. They have locations and everyone goes to Bob and Birds, and it's kind of like a thing to take the family out for a feed, and it's nothing too out there, or it's not like a big, it's just somewhere that people just kind of go away, get fed and have a good time and go on their merry way. Like, and it's that kind of experience, if we can do that in the dessert side of things, then that's kind of what's the aim for there. Like
collaboration there.
Yeah. Bob, Bert's and Ben's, I guess.
That works.
You had that one.
Sure, yeah. But in terms of like, I know in terms of ice cream there, they're more based down south. Is Murphy's ice cream. I don't know if you've came across them now, but they have store locations in the bigger towns there, and I kind of just love the whole thing that they've got going on about there, especially with customer service and stuff. Yeah, they always greeted very well, like, and I think that's what they kind of strive for. Like, yes, they have a very good product, but it's kind of that experience of going to one of their shops is kind of what we're trying to follow as well. So it's always, you always kind of look at these different wee businesses and just see what you can take and put together. Like,
have you got like a dream location if you could open a Ben's up anywhere?
I don't know. I'm not too sure if like I know I kind of said avoiding the bigger cities, like, but just to have something in Belfast would be great. Like just even if it's not central Belfast, but just something that can helps with the name as well.
Yeah,
because it's a big location, obviously. Like in
Derry would be good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really know too many ice cream shops in Derry, like, so
Yeah.
it's
Is that open a wee coastal one, like, so you get a wee holiday every now and again?
up in Ballycastle.
Yeah. What's obviously you've said like you're like you are the face of the business, and like obviously you're in the social media content and whatnot, but like what's one thing that people watch and like obviously they've got to know you over the years, they know you own this business, they know, but what's one thing a lot of people don't know about you? Like any fun facts?
Fun fact, well, that's going back to the music thing. That's like ice cream and music. I don't know like how I came around that, like, but it's I used to sing every weekend, like, and play music.
What type, like country and western, or?
Nah, well, whatever the vibe of the room is, I suppose. Like I had a folder full of decent songs. Like, like it'd be Neil Diamond one night, it could be
Rod Stewart.
Eminem the next night.
Eminem.
But I know that, I suppose, the music, and that's I would consider myself a wee bit more like introverted, like, whereas like my job is very extroverted, like, and I have to show my face to a lot of things, do a lot of talking, and whereas like the thought of going home and just not have to talk to anyone's goes so great too. And
you were saying there earlier on, like it's hard, like when you run your own business, to try and switch off, but is there anything that you do to kind of that does take your mind off that? I suppose if you're running at the minute, it's probably taking up a lot of your time, but like
running's taking a lot of the time, and then I have this wee guilty 1 hour every week of playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation.
Nice.
There. Like me and my friends from back in the school days, like we never see each other, like, but we have a group chat and one game of COD or a few games of COD, like, and that's
it's never one. It's never just one.
And I had there, and like my wife there, she's expecting twins now in the summer, so that's
Congratulations.
I'm
Twins.
trying to get as much COD as I can get in.
It's not your first time having kids?
First time.
Twins straight away?
Straight away. Just 2 for 1, I guess. But
you are going to be a busy boy.
So I need to keep selling ice cream. Is that? But,
congratulations.
That's class.
So it's
When's she due? Sorry,
July time.
July.
So
Not long now.
Not long now.
going very quick, like, so. That's.
You'll be hiding out in the office a lot more now.
That's why I wanted to do the marathon too. It's one of those things I always wanted to do, and I was like, if I don't do it this year, I'm not going to get doing it after they're born, like, so.
Yeah. Twins. Wow. Yeah. Oh boy.
Be a handful, like.
Yeah.
But I know it's, as I say, it's very good, and it's exciting times, like, so.
Well, that's actually it's convenient enough, because one thing I was going to ask you as we're kind of wrapping this up here is, like, obviously you've already spent a good proportion of your life, and probably will, building this business, and like, have you ever thought about like when it's time to maybe take a step back? But I suppose if you're now about to have not just one but two kids, I suppose that would be something. Would it be ever something you'd want to like keep on the family like name, or
it's
has that
definitely
ever crossed your mind?
It's, as I say, if I can be in this as long as I can, I will. And like, I'm gonna try and avoid calling one of the Waynes Ben, because I feel like
That's what I was thinking. You're gonna call them all Ben.
That's a way lot of
Ben
pressure for a Wayne, like,
Ben
but,
Junior.
Whether it's obviously it would be great that someday later in life to just pass the torch on to someone, and whether it's my own family or someone that's been with the business a long time, I feel like the right opportunity will come, and I'll know when it's the right time. But there's no signs of retiring anytime. No. Only 26 here, like, so it's still a good while to go. Like.
Well, unless any of you have anything else, I think we'll wrap it up there. It's been it's been an absolute pleasure talking
thanks
to you.
very much for having me.
This is your first podcast.
First,
You've
hope I
done
did all right.
very well.
I was going to say thanks for coming on, but we sort of came on there to use.
Thanks for the buns.
Aye, made them myself.
It's it was a tactic we definitely didn't expect to get ice cream. Hence why we did, it was such a challenge for us to come here.
Such hilarious.
You-
You were
I
ringing
was-
us on the
I
way up
was-
the road.
I
You were
was
like,
on the
"Can go get ice cream?"
I was on the phone to him. I was on the phone to Ben like a couple of weeks ago, and you were like, "Here." I remember you going, "Here, lad, it's like, I can come to you in Belfast. Like, it's probably more convenient." And I was like, "Surely we can make something work."
No, you can't come to an ice cream.
Yeah.
You don't get it, like,
I want to see the cooler bag here in the back of his car.
Yeah, I have a massive. I have a couple of teaspoons in the car that I'm ready to dish out. But listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. And obviously wish you all the best and like life in general. You're going to be a dad soon, business, everything. You've it all going for you. And good luck with the marathon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for coming on. And we'll obviously link all the socials in the description. And yeah, all the best.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.